Now at 5:31, crews across south central Kentucky geared up and ready to handle the snow on the roads.
Lexington Mayor Jim Gray says the city is on the right track. He called Lexington an economic engine for Kentucky in his State of the City address.
And the state of the city right now, I can tell you, snowy. And we've got more on the way across central and eastern Kentucky. We're tracking all of it. Coming up.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning from WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. It is snowing. It is cold.
You're coughing a little. I mean, that's so many people dealing with that sort of thing right now.
So many issues. How are we going to get through it?
We also have more than 80 school closings that are in at this point, and more than 100 closings total. So a lot of folks are deciding, Jim Caldwell, this is a snow day. And we know why.
As they should. I mean, the roads are about to get dangerous if they aren't already in some cases. Now, crews are out there battling them, but you go into some of these side roads, neighborhoods, what have you, you're going to run into some issues. So some good calls out there by these school systems as the snow continues to fly, because it's not going to stop until we get into the afternoon and evening, probably in many cases after school lets out, or would let out in theory. We look at snow out there right now on our Defender Radar Network showing up from Paducah to Pikeville at this point, at least the leading edge of it. Not snowing probably yet out in eastern Kentucky. It looks like it is, but we have to moisten up the atmosphere. Here in Lexington, it's snowing all around us, Georgetown to Paris to Winchester and everywhere in between. We are tracking the snow and a little bit of a wave of some of the heavier stuff and coming through. And when I say heavy, just temporarily heavy as compared to what you've been seeing. 2 to 4 inches by the time it's all said and done in the area shaded in blue, and then a little bit less toward the north and east. This is system number 1, guys. System number 2 has more potential. I'll track it coming up.
All right, and already snow is falling and covering much of the ground in most of our viewing area this morning. You want to make sure that you're staying safe out there on the roadways if you have to be out.
Some of the counties to the west of Lexington, Franklin County, have snow as well this morning, and that's where we find WKYT's Mark Barber with our First Alert Weather Team coverage.
Good morning, Rebecca. And snow plows have been going up and down Versailles Road here off of exit 58 quite a few times since we've been here this past hour. But the roads here are still more of a slushy mix because we have about a ½ an inch of snow here, and that has really turned into more of a slushy mix here. Now, the tricky travel conditions were enough for school leaders to call off school here in Franklin County for the day. Now, we have seen road crews trying to keep time with the snow as it's been coming down. Very difficult job to do, though, today, because even though they've been putting salt on the roads, even though they've had their blades down, the snow that is falling, it is coming down very quickly, and it is also sticking. We're seeing more of a thick and heavy, maybe even a little of a wet snow this morning. And let me tell you, it is really going down on the roads fast and hard. A lot of parking lots coated as well as sidewalks. So if you do have to head out the door this morning, if you are heading into work, whatever the case may be, please take your time and be safe. We even had a little trouble on the road ourselves this morning. We were fishtailing, just even trying to get off of the exit ramp from I-64 down here onto Versailles Road. Now, the good news is while the snow is continuing to fall, dispatchers say so far no accidents have been reported, so keep it safe. Live in Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, thank you. Of course, one factor is that there are many fewer people out there this morning. So
just stay at home if you can.
Good idea.
Well, one more time this morning, Fayette County schools closed for the day.
And that's significant, certainly, and many other districts as well. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is checking on this morning's other school closings. She's continuing our First Alert Weather Team coverage from the bus garage.
Yeah, Fayette County schools are closed, and as we were awaiting word whether or not there would be school today, the snow was falling. As you can see, there's a light layer just covering the parking lot right now here at the Fayette County school bus lot. And bus drivers were here awaiting the word as well. And when they got the word, they all checked in and went home. They said they were kind of excited to have the day off, and I'm sure that'll be the case for many little ones across our area. They're saying the same thing this morning. Over 80 schools have been canceled for the day, and several are operating on some sort of delay. Now, according to the Madison County Assistant Superintendent, canceling school is one of the tougher decisions because, as Randy Neely says, somebody's going to be upset regardless of what you do. Now, the Fayette County decision makers came in as early as 2:30 this morning, and they were trying to consider roads along with sidewalks and parking lots, as well as current and future weather conditions. And the decision made this morning, as you can see, is that the Fayette County schools are canceled for today. You can see the snow accumulations already occurring. The salt trucks are out and about, but there will be no school today here in Fayette County. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Sure, some folks out there going to make the best of the snow day today. Well, the bitter cold adds an extra sense of urgency, especially when looking for a missing person. Yesterday, Lexington police and firefighters frantically searched for 77-year-old William Cook. His wife reported him missing from their home on Raleigh Court near Eastland Parkway around 8:30 yesterday morning. About an hour later, a neighbor found Cook inside his car. Firefighters say he was only wearing a t-shirt, long john socks, and a few blankets. Family members say they're relieved he was found safe.
He's been confused since his stroke last summer, and his wife has just done a wonderful job taking care of him, but sometimes he just gives her the slip, you know, and this morning she just went into the bathroom and she said, "I'll just be in here a minute," and when she came out, he was gone.
Firefighters say Cook was taken to the hospital to be checked out, but is expected to be okay. Well, in Moorhead, people who need a warm place to stay are receiving some help. A warming center at Gateway House will be open through Friday as needed. Anyone who needs to stay there should check in before 9 o'clock. Gateway House is on Flemingsburg Road in Moorhead.
Our time this morning is 5:37 on WKYT. A Kentucky judge executive is apologizing for some controversial comments he made during a meeting about a proposed smoking ban. On Friday, the Grayson County Fiscal Court decided not to pass a proposed ordinance that would have banned smoking in public places countywide. A high school student who supported the ban then addressed county leaders, asking what role the government has if it is not protecting people. Here's how Judge Executive Gary Logsdon responded.
I'm not black, and I'm not Obama, and I'm not making you do anything. And I love black and white. I respect white. But, you know, I'm not Obama. I apologize for any misspoken words, and I have no intention to hurt anyone.
Supporters of the smoking ban say they will now appeal to the Litchfield City Council to get a citywide smoking ordinance passed.
Hoverboards are banned from another college campus in Kentucky. Murray State University said the ban will remain in effect until more information and better safety standards exist for hoverboards. The government says batteries within the devices have burst into flames. UK has banned hoverboards from campus, and EKU has banned them from dorms.
The Lexington Mayor Jim Gray says the city is right on track. The mayor took an upbeat tone in his State of the City address at the Lexington Convention Center. He said unemployment in Lexington is historically low and pay wages are on the rise. The mayor also said home sales were up 22% last year and foreclosures were way down. He said Lexington is an economic engine for Kentucky.
We are creating about a third in Lexington. We are creating about a third of the new businesses in Kentucky. Lexington's model is working.
The mayor did not unveil any new major initiatives during his address, and he said he is considering a run for the U.S. Senate this year, but he did not give an indication if he has made a decision. Our time this morning is 5:39. We're going to check on live drive traffic this morning in the snow.
In the snow. Always makes it interesting.
That's an issue if you're going at all this morning. And here is a look. Mostly green. You do notice, though, right now that some of our roads are showing up yellow or red, indicating slowdowns, and much of that because of the issues that we're having with the snow this morning. Looks like that's I-75, right, Jim? The southbound between Man of War down to around exit 104 there at Athens Boonesboro is slow certainly this morning, so hopefully they're getting some salt trucks out working on that area right now. Do we have the drive times? Well, anyway, they're going to be reduced this morning certainly if you're going to be driving along this morning because you need to slow down.
Yeah, and you may be a good idea to have a of course your cell phone and maybe an extra blanket and some water in case anything happens. Hopefully you don't get stranded.
That is if you have to go.
Yeah.
Right. All right, Wednesday morning on WKYT. Glad to have you with us on this January day, and we have a lot more news coming up.
If you want to rock and roll all night, there are a couple of concerts coming up in Rupp in April you may be interested in. We'll take a look when WKYT This Morning returns.
And the snow continues to fly out there, and it will throughout the entire day. We'll track it coming up. It is a snowy go out there across central and getting into eastern Kentucky right now. Southern Kentucky, you're thrown into the mix as well. Frankfort Skycam, one of the best ones we have because it's so well lit. You can see so much around it, and you can see clearly that the roads are covered, and you see some tire tracks through there as well. But the general theme is a lot of us are going to look like this very, very soon, especially as the morning and the day progresses. Now, the crews are going to be out battling some of the snow, so a lot of those primary roads are going to be ready to go, I'm sure, for you here very soon. But those side roads could be rather slick for most of the day. You're looking at Defender Radar Network, and it is action-packed from one end of the Commonwealth to the other. From Paducah to Pikeville, we're filling in with snow. The leading edge will start to moisten up the atmosphere, and folks in eastern Kentucky will get in on more of that as well, like we are here in Nicholasville, Lexington, Paris, and Winchester, all of us seeing that snow. Southern Kentucky, you're seeing some of those totals come in as well because we've had numerous closings in this area, too. Everybody doing, in some cases, doing it in preparation as you start to see that it's really starting to add up in some of the locations west of those areas. So they start pushing the button a little bit earlier, especially across eastern Kentucky as they start to see it coming. Because let me tell you, it is tough to travel around some of the mountain roads this time of year when you start throwing that snow into the mix. Here you see our winter weather advisory, which covers up pretty much everybody across central and into eastern Kentucky. Snowfall forecast for this system, once it's all said and done, we're already approaching an inch in many cases out there right now. I think we end up 2 to 4 from basically Lexington down to Richmond into London. And this line is not absolute 100%. It might be slightly higher, slightly lower. This is just to give you a good general idea of where we come with the snowfall totals when it's all said and done. Here's the way it looks through the day. Still tracking the snow, still tracking the heavier stuff right there across extreme southern sections of Kentucky, right along the Kentucky-Tennessee state line. Snow wrapping up and pushing through central Kentucky at this point once we get into the afternoon and evening hours, and then it's gone. By 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight, it should be wrapping up completely in eastern Kentucky. Now let's get into the more important day. And today's important too, but the Thursday into Friday are really going to be crucial because of what may come. This leading edge is what I'm talking about. You see that pink? Through the years, we've learned the pink means a wintry mix, and that can mean freezing rain, that can mean sleet, that can mean a mess. And that's the leading edge, and it hangs around for a little while. Luckily, and let's hope, unfortunately, let's hope this model's correct. Let's get the snow changing over a little quicker. Problem is it changes over and it comes in heavy, and it hangs around for a while. You still have a little mix across southern Kentucky, which will cut back on some of the snowfall totals for you. So we're at 9 o'clock on Friday, still snowing. We go into your Saturday, still snowing, in many cases at a pretty good clip as well. By the time that wraps up, those totals, guys, have the potential to be pretty high, and we could be talking several inches by the time that's all said and done. I'm talking double digits, not just single digits, maybe double digits by the time it's all said and done. Wraps up Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Well, it's such a long event. I mean, as the snow keeps coming and the temperature stays low and it keeps sticking, it adds up. Right?
It adds up, and plus what we have on the ground right now, too.
Yeah. All right. Well,
or will have, yeah.
Winter got here, didn't it?
It's a mess.
It sure did.
It's a mess. Yeah.
It is 5:47 on WKYT this morning.
For those of you who like to rock, 2 concerts coming to Lexington you may be interested in.
James Taylor will perform at Rupp Arena on Sunday, April 24th. He is a member of both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Tickets for his concert will go on sale on Friday, January 29th at 10 a.m. And a few nights after James Taylor, Pearl Jam will be playing at Rupp Arena. The band show will be Tuesday, April 26th. Tickets for that concert will go on sale on January 29th at noon. So there you go.
Yeah.
A little more easy listening or some
hey, I like,
rock and roll.
I like both of those.
I do too. Yeah, great,
Good deal.
Great sounds of the past.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
And we'll be checking on traffic this morning, see how things are moving along in the snow. Quick reminder, Fayette County schools and many others closed today for a snow day. Good morning. It is a snowy Wednesday morning. 5:51 is your time on WKYT.
And let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on at this hour. The Clark County Sheriff's Office looking for a missing man. They're looking for 23-year-old David Pence. He's been missing since 10 o'clock last night. He was last seen on Verna Drive in Clark County. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact the Clark County Sheriff's Office. Well, politics topping your national headlines this morning.
Former vice presidential nominee Sarah Palin will campaign with Donald Trump in Iowa and Oklahoma today, a day after officially endorsing his run for president. Pundits say the move presents a setback for Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who is in a close race with Trump in Iowa. On the Democratic side, a recent poll shows Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders beating frontrunner Hillary Clinton 2-1 in New Hampshire. In Pakistan this morning, at least 20 people are dead after gunmen stormed a university campus in the northwest part of the country. The attack triggered a gun battle with police and army troops. The Pakistani army says the attackers have been contained and 4 of them have been killed. The Pakistan Taliban has now claimed responsibility for the attack.
Topping your health headlines this morning, a new study tracks how your heartbeat can be factors for other diseases.
International researchers say an irregular heartbeat is a stronger risk factor for stroke, heart disease, and death in women than in men. The study, published in the British Medical Journal, tracked more than 4 million people and found women with irregular heartbeats need more aggressive treatment.
A new study finds 92% of meals served in U.S. restaurants contain too many calories. Tufts University tested food from 123 fast food and regular sit-down restaurants in California, Massachusetts, and Arkansas. They found American, Chinese, and Italian restaurants had the highest calorie counts, with average meals around 1,500 calories. But sometimes they are so delicious, maybe especially on a day like today, a snow day. Let's get a check right now on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic. A little bit of snow to contend with, so the schools are canceled for the most part. Most school districts, Fayette County schools, decided this morning that they will not be holding school today. So you can imagine less traffic out there on the roadways, which is a good thing because, you know, if you don't have to be out there, don't. Better safe than sorry. Time to check now what's making news with Bill.
Well, on our WKYT.com website, of course, our 24-hour newsroom is keeping you right up to the minute with these closings and delays, and you can find all of them right there by clicking on the bar on our homepage. Again, that does include Fayette County schools being closed for today. Now, Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and Meteorologist Jim Caldwell, on duty this morning, are expecting anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of snowfall in areas of central and eastern Kentucky for this round today. So we're going to be certainly keeping a watch on that. And then Friday could be a much more significant winter storm situation. The cold weather responsible for sending 2 people to the hospital in Whitley County. The sheriff there telling us a man and woman are being treated for frostbite this morning after someone found them in a vehicle. We're working to gather more details and bring those to you. Also on WKYT.com, deputies in Clark County searching for a 23-year-old man. We were just telling you about that. David Pence, last seen on Verna Drive around 10 last night. If you have any information, they need to know it at the Clark County Sheriff's Office. Also trending, Kentucky fans are mourning the loss of a legend this morning. College football Hall of Famer Lou Michaels died yesterday at the age of 80. He played for the Cats in the 1950s and then 13 years in the NFL. On Kentucky.com, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray delivered his State of the Merged Government address, said Lexington is firing on all cylinders. But he stayed quiet about a possible U.S. Senate campaign. The deadline to file is next Tuesday. He says we will know by then. And CBS This Morning is coming up at 7 with your eye opener. And of course, we'll have local updates as well. Naturally, the latest on this situation, the attack in Pakistan at a university. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com.
Tracking snow out there this morning, Bill, across most of Kentucky now, and it is sticking. That's going to be the big issue, the accumulation likely, and it's going to continue to grow out there. You see our Defender Radar Network is covered up from northern Kentucky to southern Kentucky, everywhere in between, getting in on the action, and now working its way deeper into eastern Kentucky, where they're going to run into some of those totals as well. Lighter amounts expected through that area. Here's a breakdown of what we expect with this first round. Remember, this is the first of 2 rounds that are going to impact Kentucky. The second round likely to be the more potent one and the one that brings us a little of everything with the freezing rain, sleet, and snow all thrown into one. Our snowfall forecast for this one, which includes Lexington, Frankfort, Danville, Richmond, Berea, down toward into sections of Pulaski County, Laurel County, London, Barberville, Knox County. There are 2 to 4, 1 to 3, northern and eastern portions of Kentucky where they're seeing some of those heavier bands of snow right now toward Bowling Green, even into maybe sections of Adair County and Wayne County. You could see 3 to 6 inches, so a little bit higher totals coming into play. And later in the week, could be a bigger mess. We'll track that, though, coming up for you in our next half hour.